Today we're going to be working on equivalent expressions with using properties of multiplication and addition. So our goal is to solve problems by creating equivalent expressions using the properties of addition and the properties of multiplication. So if you're going to go to your Google Classroom later on, you'll find the worksheets that I'm giving you, but let's try to work on this one first. So, this is already the worksheet I have to give you, right? So let me look first for the examples. We're going to use distributive property in simplifying this expression, okay? So calculate the product of 2 times 37 in 2 different ways using distributive property. So we know that we could break 37 by 30 plus 7, so we could do that, and then we use distributive property later on. So with that said, so we could multiply. We're just gonna get this idea later on because we need it when we do the expression. So now we could go 2 times 30, which is 60, and then plus, since it's addition, we do plus 42 times 7 is 14, and we could do mental math for 60 plus 14. That gives you 74, right? Or we could also do something like 37 is, we know that is 40, not 40 minus 3 is 37. Again, we do distributive property, so that becomes 80. And then 2 times 3, and then that's 6, and we do minus because that's minus. And exactly the same way that in this case, you could solve it in 2 ways using distributive property. Though, of course, you could do 37 times 2.
How many exercises do we have?
I think there are only 4 in that worksheet. The first page is a multiple choice. All right, so that's using distributive property. Let's see the next one. Here, consider the expression 2 times x plus 7. So write using the distributive property.
I have a question. 1 to 4 page.
This is mine. The first 2 pages is mine, and the last 2 pages will be yours. So here, consider 2 parenthesis x plus 7, or 2 times x plus 7. Using distributive property for this one, we could simplify this, right? So distribute. So 2 times x, that gives you 2x. And since that's plus, we just copy that. And then 2 times 7, that gives you 14. Can we add this up together if you still remember combining like this? No, why not? Why not?
Because they don't have the same variables. But they're not like terms.
Very nice. They are not the same terms. There are different, they have different terms and they don't have the same variable. And actually, this was constant. They don't have. So you're going to test the original expression from using x equals to 3 if it will give us the same answer. So 2 is just like evaluating it. We know that we give an example as x equals to 3 plus 7. That's the original one. Then we simplify 2 times 10, right? Because 3 plus 7, so that ends up with 20. Let's see if we're gonna get the same value after we expanded it using distributive properties. So 2, since that is x, we got 3 over here plus 14. So that's gonna be 6 plus 14 still gives you 20. So those are 2 equivalent expressions. It's up to you later on which way is easier, but sometimes breaking them into add-ins and doing distributive property will help us simplify the problems easier. All right, so let's look at exercise number 3. All right, so let's move it up. So exercise number 3, consider the expression 5 times 3x plus 4. Justify each of the following steps using the property. So what property is this? What is property is being used here? Like 5 parenthesis x plus 4 becomes 5 times 3x and 5 times 4. What property is that? Did you still remember? We've been doing properties in elementary school.
Is this a commutative?
Not really commutative. Commutative is 1 plus 2 equals 2 plus 1. And this is what, like, look, 5 is being given to 3x and also being given to 4. So what does it tell us?
Associative? Associative?
Associative, guys, is grouping. You still didn't remember your properties, huh? So associative property is like you group them together. But commutative property is like reverse of each other. But this is like, look, I give this here and I give this here. What property is that? I gave it. I gave each of the factor to each member.
No, I forgot the third one.
Anybody will not remember that? Oh my goodness. I gave it to you? So what did I do? I distribute, right? So it's the properties will always be this. Oh wait, let's say this, not distribute, actually it's distributive property. So you could always remember what it is the way it was done. So if you're gonna have a plus b, right, I'm going from my school to home and from my home to school, or home to school and then school to home. This is a. So that is what you call what kind of property is that? You said that before, Fiona.
The commutative?
Yes, that's why I put letter C there, because I was thinking of writing commutative property. An associative property is like grouping it. Like, for example, it's not over here, but here you could say 5 times 3. Here, you group them. 5 times 3 times x, 5 times 3 times x. So we group a different way. So it groups with 3x, and here groups with 5x. That where your associative property or associative property is. All right, my handwriting is horrible in this thingy. So you group.
Are you putting a chat?
Yes, I could put in a chat. So that is associative property. Actually, I could type it. I don't know why I give myself a hard time doing that when I could type right here. Associative property. Guys, you learned this in 4th grade. Okay, so once you group it, it's associative property. Once you give it to one part of expression to another, so
you put it in like in the chat later.
Yeah, you call it hold on, distributive property. I gonna put it in the chat too. All right, and this is commutative property. All right, if you want to going to take a screenshot for that so you could remember. Commutative. It's just like commuting, like going back and forth. So commutative property. Grouping is another word for associative property. Distribute means giving it to each member of the terms. So if there are binomial, giving it to each single term in that binomial or in a polynomial. Okay? Question for, so here we're going to rewrite this expression using distributive property. Okay, so show each step, then write all the fractions simplified form if there is. So let me work with you with the first one. So distributive property means that that number other factor will be given to each of the factors, add-ins and terms inside. Okay, so the first factor is 3 and the other factor is 4x plus 7, but the other factor has 2 terms, 4x plus 7. So we are going to give.
Wait, I have a question. Is it the same one as the other one?
Yeah, it's the same one. I'm on page 1 and 2. The one that I gave you, page 3 and 4. Yes. So this is 12x. Usually I give it to you, but today I did not. So and that gonna be 21. All right, so with that said, can somebody do letter B for me? What will this be then if you simplify this? Malia, start.
Wait, is this the one like due today?
Yes. Malia or Fiona, how much is 8 times 3x?
24x.
So we're gonna have 24x, and then since that's minus what?
16.
Minus 16. The third one, let's start with who could like this? Haley. Negative 2 times 4x gives you what?
Negative 8x.
Negative 8x. And then negative 2 times positive 1 is?
Negative
2. Correct. Who is brave enough to do a fraction? MD? Brave enough to do fraction? Or maybe I'll do the first fraction. Then you could do, and then MD could do letter F. Would that be good? So we know that this is a fraction form. Or Dania, would you like to do it? So I'm gonna start up. Dania will help me. So 3 over 2, and we know that this is over 1. We also know that when we multiply a fraction, it's numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator. So now I have a 3 over 2, and then 4x plus 10 over 1. So I could multiply 3 to 4x plus 10, and then 2 to 1, right? Like that. So now I could do 3, let me change that, 3 times 4x, what will it be? They're gonna be 4.
12x.
See, I want to write 3 times 4. So that's correct. So 12x. And then, oh, come on, this pen is holding off me. And then 3 times 10 gives you? 3 times
30.
30. And then here, 2 times 1 gives you 2. Can we simplify this? Yes. So 12x divided by 2. I already saw somebody wrote the answer. Ekis wrote the answer. Ekis, can you tell me 12x divided by 2 is? Where did you get 6x again, Ekis? So we did 12x divided by 2. Because yeah, the denominator of 2 belongs to 12x and belongs to 30. And then Ekis wrote in the chart that is plus 15. We know that is 30 divided by 2 gives you 15. There we go. We could have that as our answer. Yeah, that's correct. So who could do the letter E? Letter E? Letter E, letter E, letter E. Who could do that? Emmy, would you like to try? So it's gonna be negative 4 and negative 5x. What will that be? Other than Emmy? Jackie? Joey? Go ahead, Malia.
Negative 20.
So that's negative and negative will not be negative though. A negative and negative, when you multiply them, they're gonna be what? They're gonna be positive 20. And it will not be only positive 20, there is an x. So can you repeat your answer? Can you repeat your answer for me for the first one? Negative 4 times negative 5x will be what?
20x.
Yes, 20x. Complete answer. Nice. And then just complete the next one. Negative 4 times positive 7 is?
Negative 28.
That's good. All right, the last example here. So we know this is has over 1. Can someone brave enough tell me the answer?
Wait, do we have to finish it for homework?
No, we'll finish it for homework, definitely. We're even gonna work on it tomorrow. So let's do this. So 1 times 9x. So this gonna be what? This gonna end up what? That's gonna end up over 3 over here. And since that's multiplied to 1, MD said we end up with 3x minus 2. So that's correct. So that's gonna be 9x minus 6, and we end up, MD, you said 3x minus 2. Where did we get 3x minus 2? Where did
you do 9 divided by 3.
And then
you do 6 divided by 3.
By 3 to get 2. You guys are good. So with that said, I want you to go to your Google Classroom assignments right here. You could start with it now. And if it's not done, we'll work on it tomorrow. But I'll bet you could complete this. This is easy. See? It's not that bad. Question. We're good, right? Alright, guys.
Yeah, my screen is low.
It's okay. So you could use PDF Writer, you use Kami, you could download this in your computer and do it by hand. You could print it, you could do loose paper, you could do whatever you want. You know the rule. And then you could just turn it in back. Okay? Alright then. I let you go work, guys.
I don't get like number 2.
Number 2. Which one? This one? This number 2?
Yeah.
But this is, if the binomial is 2x plus 8 was multiplied by 5. So what will be the result? So you're going to have 5 times 2x plus 5. Use distributive property. Remember what you're going to do in number 1? Is 7 times 3, x plus 3. So this is going to be 5 times 2x plus 8. It will be the same way. All right. So I guess.
Is it like 10x plus 8?